Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nutrition Mythbusters. My name is Claudia Zerlini, and I'm a Senior Coordinator with the Public and Patient Education Department here at HSS. Today, we are going to discuss common nutrition myths and misconceptions. I'm excited to welcome Dr. Caroline Andrew, who is a physician at Hospital for Special Surgery and directs our medical weight management program, and Rebecca Tonnessen, who is a clinical nutritionist here at HSS as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's get started with our first myth. Carbs are bad for you. Rebecca and Dr. Andrew, please take it away.
Types of carbs. So we should talk, Rebecca and I can talk about that. There are definitely some carbs that are better than others, but in general, they're not bad for you. And they're definitely an important part of a healthy, balanced diet. So the carbs that we think of, that maybe you want to try to avoid if possible, are going to be more the refined carbohydrates. So things that have been highly processed, that's going to be your white bread, also sweets, any like delicious things, which of course you're not going to avoid all of the time, but just try to have them more in moderation. So like cookies, cakes, all of that good stuff. The really healthy carbs are going to be more, well, first of all, vegetables have carbs in them. So that's going to be probably the most nutritious, the healthiest place you're going to get carbs. And then some whole grains, those can be healthy as well. And it's just important to differentiate between the good carbs and then the carbs that you need to try and have less often, put it that way.
Yeah, fruit's also really important.
Of course,
it's a type of simple carbohydrate. So for that quick energy that you need before like a run or a workout, definitely fruits. Don't be afraid of fruit. Yes, there's sugar in it, but it's natural sugar. It's good sugar. Don't be afraid of an apple. It's going to be okay.
Yeah, I definitely want to, I agree with that completely. I think first of all, there's so much information out there. That's why we have these nutrition myths. There's so much information. It's really hard to know what to believe, what not to believe. And fruit is good for you. And I don't think people need to avoid fruit. Some people come to me saying, I heard that, fruit has sugar. I shouldn't have it. I probably have too much. And you're probably not having too much. It's really, it's natural sugar. It comes with a lot of fiber, which is great. And, I would say don't avoid it. It's a good healthy part of the diet.
Yeah. What I like to say is it would be really hard to overeat on fruit. You would have to eat 10 apples in one sitting, and no one's really going to do that. That's very filling. That's very uncomfortable. So you're probably not overeating fruit.
Yeah. So we could probably go on and on about this, but maybe we'll go to the next myth.
Move on.
Yeah. Okay, fats. I can start with this one. Fats are bad for you. So again, this is a very sort of broad statement, and it's not true. There are, just like with carbs, there are some good fats, and then there are bad fats that we need to try to avoid. So the good fat, so in general, fat can actually be a very healthy and important part of the diet. Fats help us feel full, which is a good thing. The healthy fats are going to be the unsaturated fats. That's what you find in olive oil, avocados, nuts, that kind of thing. The saturated fats are the ones that we need to try to avoid or have in more, moderation. Saturated fats have been associated with an increased risk for heart disease, and that's why we really want to avoid them if possible. That's what's going to be in your animal products, like in meat, in whole milk. That's the stuff we want to try to have to minimize the saturated fats, and then focus more on the unsaturated fats in our diets.
Yeah, saturated fats really just like the red meats, dairy, but the unsaturated fats, definitely don't be afraid of that. You need that to feel full. They're also delicious. Avocados have unsaturated fats and fiber, so it's 2 for 1. That's why they're my favorite food. So definitely don't be afraid of the fats. It's important for a lot of things like immunity, reproductive health, to absorb fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, E, and K. So it's a really important part of your diet.
Yeah, and I think it's been interesting too, just looking at what diets have been popular over the past, few decades. I think back in the 90s, even to the early 2000s, there was this thought that you should be on a low-fat diet, and that
Right.
was the way to lose weight. And now we've really shifted to allow fats in the diet, even if you're trying to lose weight. You can allow for some fat in your daily eating.
Right.
So
And along with the low fat craze, they created all these low fat products, but actually a lot of those products have more sugar, and they're just a little highly processed. So it's okay to get the full fat yogurt. Another really good source of unsaturated fats is salmon, is what I wanted to mention.
definitely.
Omega-3s,
Yeah.
definitely a good one.
And I think, it's, since we, again, could go on and on about this for a long time, I think it is important to seek the guidance of maybe a dietitian or a doctor, someone, a professional, because this can be confusing. And I think there's a lot of, yes, you can have fat in the diet, but how much, and what fats are in different foods. It's hard to know all of this. It's a lot to really put together. So, definitely don't hesitate to seek the guidance of a professional to help you out with that. Say that.
The general recommendations for your calorie intake is like around 50% from carbs, and depending on your needs, 20 to 35 from fat. But again, definitely, reach out to your local dietitian or Caroline. Any of us will be happy to help you.
Yeah. Definitely. Oh, this is another good one.
Yeah. Okay. So a gluten-free diet will help me lose weight. So not necessarily. You don't have to be gluten-free to lose weight. You don't have to be free of any particular type of food to lose weight. Gluten-free really is for people with allergies to gluten, which is a protein in wheat, for those who don't know. So if you have celiac disease or any type of gluten allergy or intolerance, that's when you would really want to avoid gluten. But if you don't have any of those issues, there's no reason that you need to completely avoid gluten, and it's actually not going to help you lose weight, because if you take everything that has gluten and replace it with a gluten-free product, it's going to be the same, if not more calories. So, okay, you're not eating real bread, you're eating gluten-free bread. It's still the same calories. So it's not really going to help you lose weight. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think it's important to, keep in mind, if you have an intolerance to gluten, if you have an allergy to gluten, then you need to avoid it. But if you don't, eating gluten-free is not a healthier diet than other diets. It's really not. So, and actually some products that are labeled as gluten-free may have more sugar in them,
Right.
More fat, unhealthy fat in them. So just be wary of the labels on things, and don't assume that if it's gluten-free, it's good for you.
Yeah, it's just one of those fad diets. I think that it kind of goes along with this idea that carbs are bad for you because gluten is in wheat. But again, that's not necessarily true.
Yeah.
It's not cleaner or anything like that. It really doesn't matter.
Right. And another thing, I think some people, I see a lot of patients with joint pain, and Rebecca does too, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
So they, some people really feel like cutting out gluten can help with their joint pain. There's a thought that maybe a gluten-free diet can help decrease inflammation. I think that if someone really feels like, they feel better cutting out gluten, then I'm all for it, keep going with it. But it probably is related to something else in your diet. That's my thought. Like if you're eating a healthy diet with, a lot of fruits and vegetables, and that's going to help the inflammation probably more than cutting out the gluten.
Exactly. If you're cutting out gluten, maybe you're cutting out a lot of the processed foods and replacing it with healthier foods like fruits and vegetables and whole grains. In that case, yes, that could help with weight loss. But just replacing everything with a gluten-free product or just going gluten-free for really no reason, it's not going to help you. Yeah.
Agreed. All right.
What's the next one?
To the next one. Food labeled natural is healthier. So no, that's just not true. I think it's too bad. The food labels are so confusing I'm confused by them, and I'm supposed to have some understanding of them, and I'm still confused. So first I would say just don't trust any label, in the super, it's just, no. So natural is not better. Natural can mean a lot of things. There isn't really a standard definition for it. So it could just mean that they didn't put like food coloring in it. That doesn't mean that the food is healthier for you. So you really need to look at what ingredients are in it, and not go by the label.
Yeah, the label natural is not regulated by the FDA at this point. So it's just a vague term that means different things to different companies. So you're right. It might just mean that it wasn't colored with something artificial. Maybe it was colored with beet juice. But is that natural if there was no beet juice in there? So there's so many people have so many different definitions, and it doesn't mean that it's healthier.
Yeah. And I think it's just, just be wary of any like advertising on like, maybe a cereal says, oh, will help lower your cholesterol. That may be because it has some fiber in it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the cereal's good for you and you should add it into your diet. It may have a lot of sugar in it. So just really, be careful with following any kind of label or advertisement on a packaged food.
Yeah, the stuff on the front of the label is always just marketing. You want to look at the actual nutrition panel. And, something that's natural probably isn't going to be in a package anyway. You're probably, if I think of natural, I'm thinking like produce, so.
Right, definitely.
I hope that answered it.
Okay, eggs.
This is a good one. Egg yolks raise cholesterol. So there is cholesterol in egg yolks. That's absolutely true, but there are also a lot of really good nutrients in egg yolks. Dietary cholesterol is not directly related to your blood cholesterol. So it doesn't, just because you are eating more cholesterol doesn't mean your blood cholesterol is going to increase exponentially. There's so many other nutrients and parts of your life that affect not only your blood cholesterol, but your heart health. It's actually saturated fat that's directly related to your blood cholesterol. So again, that's going back to the fat discussion that we had. That's why you want to only a moderate amount of red meat, because that's what's going to make your blood cholesterol go up. But again, cholesterol is only a small part of your overall health and your heart health. So you don't have to be afraid of egg yolks. I'm not saying go out and eat 10 eggs a day, but you don't have to take the egg yolks out of all of your eggs and only eat egg whites, because then you're missing out on some of the vitamin D that's in your egg yolk, some of the choline in there. So it's not something that you need to be overly concerned about if you're just a regular healthy person who's eating fruits and vegetables and exercising regularly.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think, there have been a lot of studies looking at this, and they've shown different findings. And, one of the studies that came out showed that, eating eggs increased cardiovascular risk. But when they looked at what the participants had been eating, they were having eggs, but a lot of them were having also a lot of red meat with it. So it really didn't seem like the eggs were the culprit. It was, again, like Rebecca said, more like the red meat, the saturated fat that is going to be affecting your cholesterol and therefore increasing your cardiovascular risk. So yeah, I agree. You do not need to limit. You should not cut out egg yolks completely. Have them if you want, and watch the other sources. Watch your saturated fat in other places.
Right, because if you think about it, what are people usually eating eggs with? Bacon. Bacon has a lot of saturated fat. It's got, maybe you put some butter in there. I don't know. So it's usually more about what's surrounding the eggs and not the egg itself. There's no reason to demonize one specific food. Not that I'm demonizing bacon. You can have a slice of bacon, but that's probably more where they were finding those outcomes, probably from those types of foods.
Fresh fruits and vegetables are more nutritious than frozen. So this is not true. So frozen vegetables are actually flash frozen when they are ripe and ready to be eaten. So they are going to have a lot of nutrients in them. The fresh may have a better taste or texture, but in terms of nutritious value, you're going to get a really good value from the frozen. So feel free to stock up on frozen vegetables, and especially now, with maybe you want to limit trips to the grocery store, you can definitely, have the frozen. And canned can also be a good option. I mean, you do want to watch there's some salt added into canned products. So try to at least wash off the vegetables if you can to get rid of some of the salt, but those also can be very nutritious.
Yeah, a lot of times frozen can be more nutritious than fresh if the fresh fruit or vegetable was picked when it was not ripe or not in season, whereas the frozen, it was picked when it was completely ripe and in season and wherever in its natural habitat, and then frozen right there. So sometimes it's an even better option. So definitely don't be afraid of frozen. Again, doesn't taste as good as fresh, but there's nothing wrong with it. Sometimes it's easier. Whatever's going to get you to eat more vegetables, do that.
Yeah.
That's the most important part. Skipping meals will help you lose weight. So this is a big topic in nutrition right now. A lot of people out there, I'm sure, have heard of intermittent fasting, which is just a pattern of eating basically where you skip meals. You only eat within a certain time period. Maybe it's skipping breakfast, eating only lunch and dinner. Some people will just eat one meal at dinner, whatever it is. Skipping meals isn't necessarily going to help you lose weight. It actually might make you gain some weight if you're super hungry later in the day and you kind of overeat a little bit. It's a very trendy diet right now, but it's not something that I would recommend for everyone. Some people have success with it, and that's totally okay. And, it can work for some people, but it's not a universal thing. And it could be dangerous for certain populations for sure.
Yeah, I think this is an example of a diet that will work for some people and not for others. And it's about, figuring out if it works with your lifestyle. Intermittent fasting can help with weight loss, it's basically eating within an 8-hour window, a 6-hour window. There are a few different ways to do it. Another way to do it is restricting your calories a couple days a week. A couple days a week, and then the other days eating more liberally.
Yeah.
I think, the most popular way is the 8-hour window. Again, some people will lose weight doing that and some will gain weight. And so you really need to figure out if it's going to work for you. I think the people it works for are people who naturally aren't very hungry in the morning, don't really, want to eat breakfast anyway. So they don't mind waiting. But the way it works is really by cutting calories. So you can't, eat like a pint of ice cream in your 6-hour window every day, and you're not going to lose weight. So, it's not an easy fix. It's not like a magic thing. So it's something you could try, but I would recommend discussing it with like a dietitian or a doctor before you start it.
Yeah, I think it's something also that can work for people who are just sitting in an office all day, who aren't as active. Maybe that could work. You don't have to plan your breakfast if you're, commuting in the morning, something like that. But it can definitely also get in the way of like your social life. So if something is getting in the way of that or spending time with your family, then it's probably not worth it. So that's also something to consider. So could work for some people, not for everyone. Definitely something that's very difficult to adhere to.
I can't do it. Eating, I tried it. I can't do it.
No, I get hungry.
Causes weight gain. So, this is not necessarily true, but let's talk about this concept. So definitely, it helps to. What am I trying to say? So,
I would say like eating late at night isn't great for sleep, because then you're digesting and, you might have indigestion, maybe you have GERD, but it doesn't really affect weight loss. It's more about calories is weight loss.
I will say that, like, if you're someone though who, and this is so common, if you're like, it's not 8 o'clock and you're watching your TV show and you're snacking
Right.
while you're doing that,
Yes.
yes, that could contribute to your weight and may cause you to gain weight. And if you cut that out, you may lose weight.
Right.
So it's not really like the time necessarily, but it's like the habit and the mindless eating that can happen at night. You know, and I do think there's something to, you know, having, if you're eating exactly right before bed, you're not going to be using those calories in the same way that if you eat them in the morning and you go out and you walk and doing things. So yeah, trying to cut down on nighttime eating, especially if you're not hungry and you're eating at night, that's going to help you with weight loss.
But if you're starving at night or you're waking up so hungry, please eat something. But yeah, it's probably just not the best for sleep. And again, it's more about the habits, just mindlessly snacking in front of the TV with whatever you're watching. And it's, you know, you're always snacking on like chips or cookies, or at least I am. So if you're cutting out that, then that could help with weight loss. Absolutely. But it's not a magic cutoff point where after 9 p.m. the calories that you eat double and you gain double the amount of weight. That's not how it works.
Right.
A diet can provide an easy answer to losing weight. So hopefully everyone has noticed a theme here. There is, you know, we don't believe in diets here. There is no one diet for everyone. Every person is different. All of the fad diets that you hear, they're just trends. They come and go for a reason because they generally don't work. The best diet is the one that you can adhere to, the one that fits into your lifestyle, the one that's going to get you to eat as much fruits and vegetables and just be happy and healthy. But there's no one magical diet to anyone's problems. Then I wouldn't have a job. So
I know. I think, you know, I hate using the word diet because I think it just means a lot of people think it means something like so restrictive. Oh, we have to cut out carbs completely. We have to do the ketogenic diet, whatever it is. I think it's right. Those maybe work for a short time and then they don't. Diets just don't work for weight loss in the long term. It's really about figuring out a way to eat healthy, incorporating a lot of fruits and vegetables, lean protein, getting back to basics, just eating healthy. That's going to be the way to maintain a healthy weight and also to take care of your health. And then again, there isn't one diet that works for everyone. It really is about what, you can adhere to. And they've looked at this in studies and it's been supported by research. Like they compared different Weight Watchers versus Zone versus whatever, low fat. And the one that worked was the best was the one that people could stick to. So yeah, that's clear. You need to detox or reset after the holidays or an unhealthy eating spree. So I think detox is definitely, that's a trendy, term. And no, you don't have to do that. You don't need to go on some crazy juice cleanse to detox and clean your body. You maybe need to detox in the sense that if you've been eating a lot of sugar and you've been drinking a lot of alcohol over the holidays, that you need to kind of cut back and get back onto more of like a healthy eating plan so you'll feel a lot better doing that. But you don't need to clean, your body cleans itself. Like your gut does a great job cleaning itself. Your liver can clean itself.
Your liver, your kidneys, they're doing it all. It's okay.
So you don't need to give it special supplements and juices to do that. And sometimes those can even be like harmful in ways that we don't, fully understand even. So just kind of, getting back onto like a healthy eating plan and starting to exercise, that's going to be the best thing to really help you feel better after maybe you go on a crazy sort of eating and, indulging period.
Yeah, just less alcohol, don't drink every night, less salt, less processed foods, more fruits and vegetables, a lot of water, and just start trying to move again. And, a few days of eating a little more and moving a little less isn't going to cause permanent weight gain and fat gain. It's just not going to do that. So you don't need to starve yourself. You don't need to drink these crazy juices that probably taste gross and are just straight sugar anyway. Just eat fruits and vegetables and drink a lot of water. You have organs to detox, so it's okay.
Save yourself the money too.
Yeah,
you know.
it's so expensive. All of that stuff is so
Yeah.
expensive. Okay, you cannot, so this is a big myth. You cannot be overweight and healthy. So this is actually not true. You can be what they call metabolically healthy and technically overweight. So for example, people who have a lot of muscle, their BMI might technically be in the overweight category, but that doesn't mean that they're unhealthy. You can absolutely be at a higher weight and still be healthy. Weight is only one component of your health. There's so many other factors. If you can still do your activities of daily living, all of your blood work looks good, you're eating your fruits and vegetables, getting your water in, you can still be healthy. We're not saying that you should, just gain so much weight and it doesn't matter at all, but you can technically be in an overweight category and still be healthy. But I'm sure Caroline has more specifics about that.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. You can definitely be overweight and be healthy. There's no perfect weight for anyone. There's the weight that you feel, first of all, you feel physically comfortable at. And also, we're going to look at other things. We're going to look at how much, lean muscle mass you have. That's an important part of your health. Let's look at your cholesterol. Let's look at your blood sugar, your blood pressure. These are things, and you can definitely be overweight, and we say overweight, we're using BMI,
right,
like Rebecca mentioned, which is just an easy calculation, your weight compared with your height. You may have a BMI that's in the overweight range, but you actually have a great blood pressure and all of your metabolic parameters are normal. So that's great. You don't need to lose weight. I think you can also have someone who has a normal BMI who's really unhealthy. So
absolutely. Yep.
Right. And it's really, we need to look at the whole picture, and BMI is not, it's ended up, we use BMI a lot because it's an easy way to classify weight and health, but it doesn't give us a lot of information. This is definitely a myth.
Yep.
Okay, so I can't exercise, so I won't be able to lose weight. I hear this a lot because I see a lot of patients at HSS who have joint issues, and it's really hard for them to exercise. And a lot of people feel so frustrated about that. People used to be active, used to, maintain their weight by being really active, and maybe have gained weight since they can't be as active anymore. And it's true that exercise is, first of all, beneficial for so many reasons. It's going to be good for your heart health, your mental health, reduce your cancer risk. It goes on and on. But for weight loss, the findings are sort of variable. Some people lose weight with exercise, some don't. Some people gain weight when they start exercising. So you can definitely lose weight if you can't exercise. We just really need to focus on look at, what you're eating. There are some other things, and this is a big part of what I do is, look at what else is contributing to your weight. Are you taking a medication that causes weight gain? Do you have a medical condition that maybe predisposes you to weight gain? And looking at the other parts of the picture to see, how we can help you lose weight. Exercise is really important for maintaining your weight. So if you're someone who, if you're happy with where your weight is, trying to incorporate exercise is very important to kind of keep you there. So at some point, it's good to add it in, but in the initial weight loss phase, we can do a lot without intense exercise.
I agree with all that.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
Great answer.
And also I think, just exercise doesn't have to be like going out and running 5 miles. There are a lot of ways to do it. And it's finding a way that works for you. It can be yoga. It can be walking if you can. It could be swimming. There are Pilates, so many ways to exercise, and there isn't one superior way to do it.
Yeah, it's whatever you're actually going to do. Yeah. That's kind of the theme here. Whatever you're more likely to stick to, do that.
Yeah, whatever you enjoy. If you have an exercise you enjoy.
Right, yeah, that's the key. Hopefully hopefully you like to walk or something.
Yeah.
At least that. Okay, natural supplements are helpful for weight loss. So this is a big question people are always asking. Does this ginger supplement help with weight loss? I don't know, so many supplements that people ask me about. I can't even keep up with all of the supplements. There's probably no pill that's really going to help you lose weight. I would just straight up say no to that. I don't know if you have anything more specific, but I don't think that there's a supplement that will help you lose weight, other than if you want to take a multivitamin because you can't get enough fruits and vegetables in just to be healthier. Okay. You want to take a calcium pill because you can't get enough calcium in to be healthier. That's fine. But I don't think anything's really going to help you magically lose weight.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's really more about diet and what you're eating. You don't need supplements if you're eating a healthy, balanced diet. And there certainly hasn't been any supplement that's been shown to have any significant effect on weight loss. Yeah, I wish there were, but no, I don't think
No,
so.
just no.